Hello.
Hello. Hi, Peter.
Hi, Reggie. How are
Hi.
you?
Good. How are you? It's just you and
Doing
I,
good. It's just us. Oh, that's great.
just us. It's usually a smaller training group for these sessions anyway, for our
Okay.
service. So, um, let me just kind of give you let me ask you a couple things first. Have you been
Yeah.
to the end user training?
No, I've been trying to get in, and my calendar hasn't synced up, so I wanted to get into something. So I saw this news available today because I had some time. So I said, well, I'll
Okay.
just dive in here and kind of pick it up and go back and do the other one when I'm available.
Okay. Well, this one here, and we could still do it, but I don't cover like how to use the tool. I definitely do that in like the end user training.
Sure.
And here I'm going to show you a couple tools that we have available just to our service providers.
Okay,
That's what I'm showing you is,
that's
yeah,
fine.
yeah. So then, let me share my screen.
Where are you located?
I'm in Michigan.
Ah,
How about you?
I'm in Tampa, Florida.
Oh, nice. Nice weather today.
Yeah, actually, we're starting to get into some good fall weather.
What am I sharing? Hold on. I gotta see which
Okay.
page I have open here.
Take your time.
Where's
Take
my
your time.
feed page? Okay, there it is. All right. So here, logged into FutureFeed.
Hmm.
And I also have to log in elsewhere. The first thing I'll show you, okay, is and all right. So this here, document template library. And have
Okay.
you are you just getting started with FutureFeed?
I am. I am. I was doing IntelliGRC for a while, and I
Oh,
just picked up
okay.
FutureFeed. And then I actually have a client I'm working with right now. I'm trying to help get your gap analysis.
Okay. Well, so in FutureFeed under the document section,
Uh-huh.
okay, we have this populate button.
Right. Hmm.
And this is where any of your clients can get access to some security documentation templates
Right.
or just any security documentation that you provide them.
Uh-huh.
So this FutureFeed Direct, this is managed by FutureFeed, and every FutureFeed user has access to these 57 templates down
Hmm.
here. Okay. So you need, so see over here, I have a checkbox next to FutureFeed templates. Well, if
Hmm.
I toggle that off, which your users can do, um, and now I just see the 5 documents that were provided
Hmm.
by this Tonka Tech library.
Okay.
And that's what I'm showing you here.
Okay.
It's the Tonka Tech library. It's just a
Okay.
tech, library that I
Sure.
play around. And so for our service provider, and this is free of charge, by the way. So it's not like set up right away. If you
Hmm.
want to use it, you have to submit a request to our support
Okay.
at futurefeed.co, and
Okay.
then they'll get you set up with your. I didn't get that. Could you try again? Oh, sorry.
That's
Siri
okay.
Siri thought I was talking to her. Um, yeah, they'll get you set up with your own document library if you want one.
Okay. Sure.
And so they'll create you one, and then it would say your company's name, library. And
Mhm.
then at your company, you would have a couple administrators who can then access this back end admin interface.
Gotcha.
And so in here, obviously, you can push out, like if you guys did your own documentation templates, then
Hmm.
upload all your templates here, and then you could make them available to your clients.
Okay.
Or you can actually force things to your clients if you want. And you can make things just read only or editable. So this required universal, this is where you want to force something.
Yeah.
Maybe like for every client, you want to force them all to have in this document area over here. Now I'm in the user interface in here. In the document section, we have a category for CRMs, customer responsibility matrices, or so if your company had your own CRM, I'm assuming you'd want every one of your clients to have access to that CRM that
Right.
addresses your services, their services. So maybe that would be like a document that you push out to everyone. And then what happens is, let me go into this CRM. I will create one. What's your company's name?
So it's set up under BMB Cyber Solutions.
DMV?
BMB Bravo and Bravo. BMB Cyber Solutions.
BMB.
Yeah. It's B and B, like you and me.
I'm sorry.
So,
Uh,
yeah.
all right, let's say you had a CRM, right? We
Hmm.
got to categorize it because this makes it show up in the right area in
I got
here. You know,
you.
if I
Hmm.
was going to say it's a policy, it'd show up there, but I want to make sure it populates in the CRM.
Right.
We're going to categorize, oops, and then hit create. Then we got to click into it. Make my first version. So you can track version history. Okay. And then we'll just go in here and we'll just say that you do 3.14.1 or 11.2. B and B perform phone scanning for. All right. Obviously, a lot, but for example purposes, it saves automatically. Okay. So if I go back,
Okay.
then I'm going to be able to publish that version. I'll publish that version. And if I go back to this level now, let me just show you over here. I'm going to refresh over here under my user account, go under CRMs, and I don't have any CRMs that say BNB. Okay, you see here, nothing says BNB. I go over here and I make it required confirm, but also I don't want them to edit it, maybe. All right. Now if I go back here and I hit refresh, I should now see that BNB document in here. Right there. It does populate in the draft area. So your clients do have to like acknowledge and open it and then make sure it's good to go and then move it into active, meaning it's good to go. So then I just made it active and now it's up here. Meaning my BNB service CRM is approved, it's solid, it's finalized, it's ready to be assessed. So if I click into this though, remember how we made it view only? Now I just have that little eyeball. I can view it, but I can't edit. And I can download if I want. So under this document library, FutureFeed set it up. That's why they use the word templates. They set it
Hmm.
up so service providers could manage templates. And it's really
Okay.
good. Like, let's say this actually happened to me a couple years ago. I was working at a company. When I first come on board, they had a document template set, but I felt that it needed some improvement. Well, they
Hmm.
already had 20 clients that were using those documents, the templates. And so when I wanted to update the master template, I had to go log into all 20 clients' environments and then go make sure
Right.
that their version updated, which this helps you eliminate that because
Mhm.
um, you can push updates and force updates.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay. Um, so what was I going to show you next? Oh, what I was saying is, even though it says templates, if I was a service provider and I was using this, I would also use this to push out those documents that all your clients are going to need for their assessment. I mean, I'm not sure what services you do, but you know, if you were, for example, if you were doing vulnerability scanning for your client,
Right.
when they're getting assessed for vulnerability scanning, you're going to be the one involved in speaking up and showing evidence that you're doing vulnerability scanning, and this is how we
Gotcha.
communicate the results to the client, all that stuff, you know? So your
Hmm.
evidence, your vulnerability scanning procedures, you know, they're not customer specific. It's just my internal procedure. So maybe your vulnerability scanning procedure would be a piece of evidence that you want every one of your clients to have access to. Um, so when their assessment comes around, they can just pull it up and show their assessor, these are my external service provider vulnerability scanning
Gotcha.
procedures that they
That
follow.
makes sense.
Yeah. The thing is, not too many of our service providers are using this interface. And then the ones that do use it, they've, you know, not too many help desk tickets or requests have come in. But Mark, the founder of the company, he's a really big fan of making the tool help you guys. And so if you start to use this and you're thinking, oh man, it'd be great to have this capability, then submit a help desk ticket and ask for that capability. Those type of tickets go straight to the founder, and then he will prioritize them in the whole development
Okay.
process. Okay. So now, okay, I think I've shown you the document capability. Down here we have the summary notes, okay? So in this document library, you can also control, push out templated summary notes and guidance. And let me just show you where that looks in the user interface. So that way, because I know you're just getting started with the tool. All of your customers are gonna see this assess. Okay, this is what they're gonna see, and then they can click into a control here. Actually, let me do 3.1.22. This is what they're gonna see. Notice here these summary notes, it's empty. Now this is where you end up, either your customer or your company end up describing how that requirement is being implemented for that company. And so you can make templated versions of these. Let me show you here. Just curious, if I just pulled up my, what is this thing called? Finder, like my document explorer. Can you see that?
No, I still see
Okay.
the utility services.
Okay. They gave me a Mac, and I'm not a Mac
You
person.
have to go back in and share that screen with us in another screen. You're
Okay.
running too much.
Okay, hold on one second. Let me get it for you. All right, here it is. I'm just trying to get a templated thing. Yeah, I'm almost there. I'm almost there. Sorry.
No worries.
All right, I got it. So let's go. What do we say? 3.1.21. As you see, it's blank. Okay, now if I go over here to my admin interface and I go to 3.1.22, sorry, I think I said 21. In here, I could put a templated implementation narrative, which is kind of what you're seeing here. So
And none of those type of things already exist, correct?
what's that?
These type of summaries, they currently exist?
No, they
Okay,
don't
I
currently exist.
okay.
Yeah. But let's see here. Can you read this text, or is it a little small?
little small for me.
Okay. Oh, do we
Yeah.
have a couple folks on the call? Hi, Sean.
Hello
So-
there.
Sean, how are you?
Welcome. All right.
Okay.
A little bit better. All right. So here's a templated narrative for 3/1/22. The company maintains the following processes: a public content review workflow, blah, blah, blah. Process is defined in here. Okay. These are all templated narratives. When I was doing consulting, I ended up creating a templated narrative, not this one here, but different, for every one of the controls, because you kind of end up writing them up the same way, right? I mean, the actual technical implementation or the administrative implementation, the tools that get implemented are different per the client, but the intent is always still there, right?
Correct. Yep.
So, there I just published it. I'm gonna close out of it. 3/1/22. Now you do have to push these to your clients. So up here in my left, I can see all of my clients, customers that are subscribed to this library. Then if I go back down here,
So, Rachel, could I ask a question? I don't mean to derail.
no,
That interface looks significantly different than mine.
Yep.
As a provider or partner, should my interface look more like that than what I'm seeing?
So you may not have this access yet, Sean.
Okay,
So what I'm showing is the document library, and it is available with no cost to our service providers, but it doesn't like come given to you right away. You do have to request that you want to use it, and they'll set you up with a document library.
so that's just a email that support at.
Yep. Yep. And so
And
what
what's
will
the
happen?
question?
Oh, ask them. My company would like to use the document library feature. Can you help me get set up? Something
Okay.
like, yeah. They'll know
Email.
what I'm talking about. And so, Sean, just in case you missed it, that's what this is. So you know in FutureFeed how every FutureFeed user has access to, FutureFeed templates that they provide?
Yep.
Okay, if you wanted to use your own document library, then it would be your company's name library, and it would be all of your customers that are subscribed to it would see it listed here. Okay, so I'm showing
Nice.
you this Tonka Tech one, but so that's the user interface. This is what they see. Now, once you get yours set up and access, then your interface is going to look like this. Okay. And then,
Okay.
so back to this 3/1/22, remember I edited it here, and now I'm going to go push it out to everyone. I can push it out to everyone, or I can select and choose. But actually, I don't know who owns these other test environments, so we'll just do mine. Okay. Now if I go over here and refresh, well, I clicked out of it. So let me go back into 3/1/22. Do you see here now? I have this is filled out. And if I click on it, it's got the red. So I would definitely use the color coding if you're going to use anything templated. So now this, my user or even one of my consultants will need to go in here and tailor this narrative to that one client. Okay. So you can push out summary notes like that. And the last thing is guidance. So up here we have a guidance column. Where you see that come into play is I'm going to switch back to the user interface real quick. Close out of here. Now every control has this guidance log here. If you click on it right now, and you guys can click on it in your environment, you're just going to see NIST provided guidance. FutureFeed didn't develop this. This is straight from maybe the NIST document or the assessment guides, but we didn't develop these. You could have your own guidance though. And it will show up here. So first let me go into my admin interface, guidance, and it's called guidance, maybe, I don't think I would use it. I would definitely use it as guidance, but more. For example, you guys are service providers, so maybe in this, you could use this to list out tasks or questions. I'm sure every client that you bring on, you ask them the same question, right? Do you have a review process for posting information on publicly available sites or systems? Who do you want to do that? What team? So, I mean, you could use it for checklists or questions,
Hmm.
URLs to like your own internal share point structure, wherever you're sharing documents elsewhere with clients, if you have that. But just real quick, test, publish, close. And then over here, if I just refresh, I should be able to see now that guidance. Yep. So it would be your company's name, guidance, and then whatever you want there. Okay. And that's pretty much the document library feature. That's what it is here. You can host templates, but also host those other documents that you want to share with all your clients. Make things read only. You can push updates to documents. And then down here, you have the summary notes to make templated summary notes and guidance. Any questions with this?
No, it makes sense.
Yep.
Can you do the summary notes at the objective level? Well,
No,
that is object. Well, no, it's not.
no, we don't have summary notes at the objective level in this interface that you can control, but in the tool itself, we do have a placeholder right here for objective statements. So if I would say if you want the ability to set templated objective statements, your options right now are to include them in the summary note and have someone copy and paste them. But I also would recommend submitting a request to the FutureFeed team, just asking if they can expand this summary notes capability to include objective statement.
Okay.
And then they will factor that in. Yeah. Can't guarantee it would happen, but they are trying to expand the tools that service providers need. And that's why they're really pushing this document library out. And we want to set up the tool to help you guys with everything that you need to do. So I could see the use of that and I would request it.
Good. Email pending.
Yep. Perfect. All right. So back into FutureFeed. I mean, by the way, Sean, if you're emailing support@futurefeed.co, no big deal, none at all. But I just want to show you that if you go to user settings, go
Oh,
to
it's in there.
help center, you have two things here. You can submit a feature request. So that's where you could go to, hey, this would be really cool for us service providers, do that one. Or if you go over here, you can actually submit a help desk request, a ticket. Oh, come on. All right. Out of those because that messed it up. All right, so that's the document library. And then the other thing I want to show you guys, and Sean, by the way, I had mentioned before you joined, I think, this training is just, I introduce the additional tools that we have for our service provider partners. And since neither of you have access to it right now, I'm just kind of showing you its capability. Once you guys do get access to it and you need training, then join this session again and just ask specific questions like, hey, I'm in here and I'm trying to do this. Like, what do I need to do? So that's why I'm not getting really into like the exactly how to do everything. It's pretty self-explanatory, I think. Now, the other thing we have available is called the template subscription. Have either of you heard of that? Template subscription?
No, I haven't.
Okay. So what that is, and this one does come at a cost. because you would essentially be purchasing an environment to then set up however you want. And then for every client you bring on board, you would clone that environment, rename it. You would have to request, hey, I just, I picked up a new client, please clone. There's a cloning request, but you clone it. And then when your customer logs in, their FutureFeed environment is already pre-populated with the data, documents, inheritance, poems, tasks, literally everything you can do in FutureFeed, you could set it up and then clone it. And so the next customer that comes in would it already be set up. Things like, so I'll just kind of cover a few things, how I would do it. Definitely in my documents, I would, like, if you did have templated documents, log them, or let's say everybody needs an access control policy or everyone's going to have vulnerability scanning procedures. You could create those entries like this. Okay, let's pretend that I created this acceptable use policy. Hopefully every one of your customers have some either acceptable use policy or rules of behavior documents. And so you could create this entry and in the tasks here, I would set up my tasks to ask the things that you ask every customer to do, or you just ask, them to gather information, or you need them to do something, you could turn them into a task. What would be AUP?
Do you see people using the tasks over scheduled tasks in their ticketing system?
I don't know that answer. I really don't.
I mean, there's some pros and cons, right? Because, all of IT is going to have access to that versus they may not have to FutureFeed. And we get other set of eyes to oversee the function. I don't know. I'm kind of leaning more towards ticketing system tickets to do the recurring functions.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah. I mean, if they already have an established tool and they're using it and they like it, then I would do it there.
Okay.
Just depends if they actually have a ticketing system. But see, you could set up tasks like this and then assign it to a role. HR. See, Jill, this would be blank, but you could, have something set up like this and then hit save. And now when you give your client access to their environment, you'll even have some predefined roles in here. But instead of all you would have to do is go down and then for that one client, okay, who's the HR person? So now as soon as they set that person's name here, then that person is going to get notification of that task. Hey, I have to go do something. So you can really template out a lot with that template environment. Tasks, all those things that you ask or collect from every client, turn them into a task. Documents, you can upload if you don't want to use the document template library, you could have your templates uploaded here. The assess, you can have statuses and inheritance already filled out. For example, if your company, you're a service provider, and let's say you do vulnerability scanning, you also do risk assessments, and you do the antivirus and maintenance. So that's like 5 or 6 requirements right there, right? So you'd go over and what did I say? Risk assessment. Like let's say you were doing annual risk assessments for all your customers. You could go in here. B, risks to organization is defined, is assessed. So this objective B is actually doing the assessment. A is defining the frequency. So if your company is doing the assessment, then, fully inherited, but probably not, more like partially inherited. And then in the statement area, you could have company, we'll go with B, and B consulting performs risk assessments annually for all active clients. Please see the, maybe please see the CRM and ESP provided risk assessment client engagement and communication procedures. I think you guys get it, right? So you could have the environment already filled out with inheritance and statements and evidence, responsibility, task, all that stuff. And then so once you bring on a customer, you just clone that environment, rename it to them, and it's got a lot of things that they got to get started working on. Any questions with that? Again, happy to do more training and help with setting up your template subscription if you get one. The template subscription does come at a cost. Document library does not. And it's free for use right now. You just gotta request.
Question. In regards to the template library, so our business model is that like we don't do hands-on keyboards, right? So we've got partners that are going to do, like you said, building the enclave as an example. And one of the things I've been asking them is that they have a template company that if we partner with them, is there a way we could get our company, because our customers, when they come in, they're going to need their SRM, not ours. We
Yeah.
don't provide a service of in consulting.
Yeah.
Is there a way to get those to come across as a new company, customer company?
Can you ask that again? I'm not quite.
Yeah, so inside of their FutureFeed, they're going to build a template company for their SRM, for the services they're going to provide as part of the enclave. We're partnering with them, and so when we sell a customer and they're going to use their enclave, let's say it's Summit 7 as an example. Is there a way that when our customer comes in and starts up that they could get that template company so they don't have to put all the SRM stuff in every control?
Yeah. And you've partnered through them?
Yeah.
So even though they have the template, the master template, you're asking, right? Because Summit 7 does, right? I know they have it. But like that is a very good question. I'm not the person that can give you that answer. That would be sales.
Okay.
Yeah. Let me see if Chase is available.
So I know we went through all that, but there's going to be tons of other enclave providers that we're going to use or that our customers are going to use. And it's just like, well, I think Summit 7, well, I know they already have one, but it's others that are building theirs. And it's like, what we want to do is if we're going to partner with them, one of their criteria is, do you have an SRM template company so we can fast forward this effort? I mean, and I would assume there's value and it's going to be costly or everything, right? But it would just make things so much easier.
Right. Well, Chase isn't available right now, Sean, but he would be the person to ask.
Okay. Okay.
C. Berman at futurefeed.co. Do you have Chase's number or email?
Yeah. Yeah.
I could email him too, but I think it's best if it comes directly from the client.
Yeah. No, that's good. Yeah.
Mark, the founder, also can see that a client is requesting this.
Yeah. I've got another far off question if we have time at the end.
Yep. Go ahead. I like that was it. I know we're
Okay.
a full hour of training today, but if you guys don't have access to these and without specific questions, we can end early. And if you've not gone through the end user training, end user 1 and 2, that's where I'm going to cover all of the interface and the tool.
Yeah. So what we're trying to decide for some of the larger customers is, obviously we've got POAMs, there's no question on a per control basis, we can assign responsibilities, whatever. But sometimes there's bigger picture things that need to get done. Like, contact Summit 7 to figure out how they're handling this control. There's just a long to-do list. Where are people keeping that? because I don't want to keep it in a Word doc where you keep bouncing around. It'd be
Mhm.
nice if I just a place inside of FutureFeed that those questions for that customer relating to that implementation of CMMC could be there.
Okay. I'll reshare my screen.
Please.
All right. So, questions. And what was your example again?
Follow up with Summit 7 on status of something.
Yeah.
That
That's
there,
what that
maybe
would
it's
be.
an implementation of a group policy that's
Yeah.
gonna affect a bazillion controls. So I can't poem it to exactly, 312 and say, and assign it to, Summit 7 as a resource. It just doesn't fit well into that. There are other just high level things that we're assigned responsibility for tasks, right?
Well, that's what I was gonna say is you in FutureFeed, really the poems and tasks is and discussions. Poems, tasks, and discussions is where you're gonna be able to communicate log requests like that. Um, so of course, I'm sure I mean, the task, but if you want to go and see a complete listing of tasks that you have, you would have to make sure that your company or your consultant that's working with them is assigned to that task. But that won't really,
Doesn't fit well, because
no,
that's
fit
like
well.
to a
So,
policy or objective
yeah, that
control,
doesn't.
whatever.
So then your other option, I mean, you already mentioned it, is the poem. Now, you
Yeah,
do probably know that you can create a poem entry for a Met, and that may be one of the states that, or maybe one of the cases I do that, is where something is met, it's compliant, but I'm asking and looking for additional. You could still create a poem with that request. I don't know. And then the last place is this discussion area here. So every control has a discussion box in it.
yeah,
And this discussion area all ties in to here, up here. You see this discussion box up here?
yep.
So if I'm under 319, um, and I want to ask my client something or make them a task, go here. Um, bad. But you can make it a check mark.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Even make some notes, provide notes, right? And then you got some search filtering. You can categorize this. Am I asking a question, an idea, you know, objective? Let's make it a question, hit submit. So now, but you don't have to be in, like if I go to 318 and I click on, I guess there's already discussions over there. 3110, if I click on discussions, there's nothing here, right? So
right.
you don't have to be in the control to see the discussion. Of course, if you are in that control and you see that there's a discussion note, but if you click up here in the discussion area, then all of your notes, every comment that was entered under an
Oh,
control will be shown here. And so there's my one there, or if I filtered by, remember I made it a question, there's right there. Okay. And in this version now, in this interface, I'm sorry, if I go here, I can create a new discussion. And here I can assign it to someone. Now,
right.
it would be really nice if when you're in the discussion area under a control, if you can assign that discussion to someone, but you just can't. I literally did just submit a ticket for this though. Okay. So,
For,
being able to like assign, if I create a comment here, I want to be able to assign it to a person. not just my organization or team at this level. But when you're up here in the discussions and you're going to create a comment or a discussion, then you can assign it here. So this, if you want to be able to assign the comment to someone, then you're going to want to do it at this point. Because here
So you could, instead of like, I know the title says discussion, but you could call this open task list.
yeah. Yep. Or you could just have one, watch, open task list. And I have, hold on. Come on. It's a little wonky. Here we go.
Oh, just create your bullets there.
Task 1. That. Okay, there's that. Create. Or the last thing, if you're talking tasks, what I would do, honestly, is go under documents, and I would go over to worksheets, maybe. Create a worksheet.
Yep.
And you see how, here, we'll pretend that this is the worksheet. Let's pretend that this is
So
the worksheet.
how
Now,
does that handle multiple people editing it?
what's that?
How does it handle multiple people are in it looking at and updating?
Yeah, how that handles is, so you'll create one master onboarding. Let's say, okay, you have a customer onboarding list. So you create one.
Yep.
And you, in this live document editor, you'll have to make the master checklist. So this is where customer, you make your all of the onboarding, everything you want from them or need them to do right away. Identify all the roles at your company, identify all the teams, identify all your external service providers, give me all your documents that you have already. Just do that.
Yep.
All right. Okay. Publish. Now let's say this is my perfect task listing and every client has to get it. So one thing is in your template subscription or your partner's template subscription is definitely go in here and make initial task or whatever. Like go here and make a task and that way it could get assigned to your client. But this is the master, okay? They'll never be able to, well, you would want to lock this over here in that document. Remember in the document library, you can make things non-editable in this interface right here. So you might want to make that your checklist not editable so they can't edit it.
Okay.
But over here under evidence, let's say, let's say I'm your new customer. Okay.
Hey, Rachel, this is Peter. I think I have to drop, but thank you for
Okay.
the information, and I'll follow back up.
Okay. Yes, thank you. Thank you for your time. Have a good day. All
You too.
right.
Every day.
You assign it to me. I do have to. All right, hit submit. I have this task. Your client is going to see a task. And when I want to, if I have to close out and work on this task, so I got to click on it. And it's going to show me a couple things that I can do. You want them to click new document. What's going to happen when they click this new document is it creates a version of that checklist. So now they're going to fill out the checklist, but they're not editing the master. So they'll do this one. And actually, sorry, it didn't show up right because I do have to publish this. I did publish it. So let me close out of the ticket and refresh. Okay. So after you publish it, refresh your screen, and then here it is. So now my person assigned to this task, they'll click on it, and you see how it shows them this?
Okay.
create an editable copy of that master. So now here they'll click on it and they can mark things done, done, done. Oh, issue here, you know, make some notes. Okay, just fill it out and
Right.
show that you filled out. And now I'm gonna hit, let's say they can either hit save and in progress because maybe it's gonna take them a few days to finish the checklist. But once they complete all the items, they can hit save and complete, make some notes, sign off, which is good. You're gonna want your customers to sign off that they did what was expected of them. And then there, I'm in evidence. My tasks
Oh, there you go.
it kicked me out. It closed one out and it now is housing that completed task in the evidence. I can click on it. I can see that that checklist filled out in their notes. I can't edit this anymore. It's now a PDF.
Mm-hmm.
You see here, and I can even download that
Yep.
PDF and it would have the signature. But it did not modify my master checklist here.
And then how did you make it so you can't edit it? So folks don't screw that up.
Yeah, so that's going to be in your document library feature. And
Okay.
that's once you get access to that,
Oh, I see. Okay, so we don't.
you have to go in there. 1 second. Let me log back into that interface.
Now, because I had really short memory, what was the thing I was just gonna submit support tech for?
Um,
I did the one for the objective statement copy.
oh,
Something else.
discussions,
Oh,
maybe?
I don't think so.
I don't,
Shoot.
yeah, I guess my memory's failing me today too. I'm not sure. I hope you get it back. But so here's where like this is where you would push out that you would push out your onboarding uh ESP customer onboarding checklist.
Right.
Make sure you categorize it as a worksheet or a list, whatever you want it, and then go down. Where is it? And here is where I can control if it's editable or not. Right here. This copy enabled end user editable. So I would make sure it's unchecked. And now they cannot,
Okay.
but they will be able to see that document like this. So instead of seeing the pencil, they would just see it with an eyeball here, and then
Cool.
over here they could still close it out. Right? So that's probably maybe a better is if you turn, you know, initial onboarding question. You could even make your like gap assessments, turn them into kind of like a checklist. Um, you forms, any forms that you want,
Mhm. Yeah.
you them fillable and usable in FutureFeed that way.
Cool. Well, that gives me some ideas. I've got to
Yeah.
talk with those folks and see what their preference is. I just do not want to shift a Word document back and forth. Like, oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
Well, because it's never gonna be up to date and trying to keep track of it is just not too good to. Cool. And as far as the word editor,
Yeah.
like the document editor, any future where we're gonna get something a little more high speed, or is that gonna be what it's gonna be?
No, that's on the list.
Okay,
That is a big request from a lot of our
okay,
customers. So that should be here soon in the next update or two.
cool.
Mhm.
Well, I appreciate you answering my questions and
For sure. I may see you in the next training or two, but I'm leaving the company here, so
oh,
um
I didn't know that. Where are you going?
I had my own consulting company, so Summit
Okay,
7 is actually a client of mine under there. With 853 project. So I'm just gonna step back from FutureFeed. Haven't been with them too long, but I was brought in when the previous person had left. So I come in, helped him out, and kind of got some things squared away. And now I'm gonna, I mean, they hired me knowing I had my own consulting company.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Oh yeah, I own a company, I have an employee over there, and I'm doing future feed stuff. It's not sustainable. It was
Yeah.
definitely a pleasure to get in here and help manage things in the interim, but yeah, I'm gonna go back to doing that. So
Cool.
I won't be in
Yeah.
any future trainings, but
I kind of had the same thing about 10 days ago. I was leading a team and doing CMC, and I'm ready for my test whenever they can review my documents.